Genesis, him out of start for the show. Genesis. Who goes there? The God Squad. 91.6 FM. Who goes there? The God Squad. 91.6 FM.
Good morning, London Town, and welcome along to the Big Gen 1, 91.6 FM People's Talk Show. We first got to say maximum respect, one love, and big up for your strength and your status, Sister Slushy. Done a marathon run, London Town. Sister Slushy, come talk to it.
Yes, I'm still here. I'm going to take in a little bit of the Commissioner's show because I find this show interesting, so I'm going to take it in before I head out of here. So I'd just like to say thank you for listening to my show, and I will be here next Sunday on time, and there's no doubt about it. So, as I say, peace.
That's our own Sister Slushy, London Town. Boy, and you heard, you can catch her same time, same place, next week, doing the biz yet again. Did you hear some of them old Calypso music? I bet you never know them music exists. See? Well, anyway, London Town, as you know, it's the People's Talk Show. We're in the house, and it's time for you. Whatever you'd like to discuss, whatever you'd like to bring to this forum, you know, that you think we as a wider community or family members need to know about. Listen to this, 0958 345 771. That is 0958 345 771. And you know our commissioner likes to say, you have approximately 10 seconds to go and tell your friends, Genesis Radio, talk time has begun. Good morning, you're in tune to Genesis.
Genesis.
Yes, Bridget.
Genesis.
Aye. Okay, London Town, back on the other side of that. Yep, we'll take some phone checks. You all are ringing already. We're going to take some phone checks. Now, today, 24th of the month, I believe, a load of you will be making your way down to Ladbroke Grove, Notting Hill. Boy, I ain't even got too much to say about that still. But if you're going out there, enjoy yourself, you know, and look after the children, and just watch yourself. Good morning, Genesis Radio.
Good morning, Gen 1. This is Celia calling from New Cross.
Yes, Sister Celia.
Just giving you a sound check.
Thank you very much. Sound clear out there?
Yeah, it sounds wicked, doesn't it?
All right. It does, yeah.
Yeah, for real. Just to say to anyone going Carnival, have a wicked time, be careful, and just, you know, enjoy yourselves. And enjoy yourselves for me, because I'm 8 months pregnant and I can't go.
Okay.
All right?
You all right? You take care. Keep it locked.
I will do, definitely.
There you go.
Bye.
Thanks for the phone check. Keep them coming in, London Town. You know, you heard the number. I'll say again in a little while. But first of all, let's give you all something to chew over. You know, oh, phone checks are coming in like mad. Good morning, you're in tune to Genesis. Your name, please?
Good afternoon, Brother Commissioner.
Good afternoon, sis. How are you?
Yeah, you know it is.
How are we sounding over there in the Hackney region?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay.
Coming strong, yes?
Okay.
Have a good day.
You as well. Keep it locked.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay, London Town, phone checks are coming in so far. We've got the East London region. We've got the South London region. What about you lot over there in the West? And what about Our brothers and sisters in the north, are you picking up Genesis loud and clear? I've got to send a big shout out to all travellers today on the coaches, etc., etc. Wherever you are, wherever you're going, make sure you tell the coach driver, the train driver, the plane driver, and whoever else Genesis is on. People's Talk Show time. Tune in. Now, let's go. What should we start with? First of all, London Town, we're going to go into some little hair business. We got X amount of black people nowadays putting extensions. Well, you know, extensions have been a thing that black people have been using a long, long time. But now, you've got people... In fact, the other day, I saw a young black man. His hair was dyed ginger, and he had two, like, ponytails on either side, also dyed ginger. You know, to give him that kind of... He looked like a kind of teddy bear. You know, imagine a brown teddy bear with the two ears sticking up. Ginger. And I thought, my gosh, you know, look at this. I know we're very creative people, but you've got people now putting in extensions in their hair that's red, pink, orange, every kind of color you can think of. You've got people putting designs and patterns in their hair. Every kind of design, every kind of pattern you can think of. What have you all got to say about that? There's some people in the community that believe your head is the highest point, and you shouldn't really mess around with it. You know, we know the Rasta faith believes that you shouldn't even chop your hair, but it seems to be on the increase. You know, are we just following fashion, or are we setting a trend? Is it necessary for us to dress up in this manner? You know, and it's not just a female thing. The men are doing it more and more, increasingly. Even yesterday, someone said to me, "Boy, why you all plait your hair? You think you're Samson?" So London Town, there's a hair craze going around out there. People putting their hair in all kind of different fashion, different manner, different style, different colours, whatever. What do you all think? Anything to say on that? Can we hear from any of our hairdressing community out there? And you know, if you would have got any information on that, why is the hairdressing industry, which happens to be very prominent within our community, why is it blown up? What's the explosion about right now? Why are so many people deciding to just go, be different? I won't say go over the top. Be different, you know, in the colours that they're wearing in their head and the things that they're doing with their hair, which includes straightening, pressing, etc., etc. You know, you even got some women now that's putting like mauve, is it mauve? Mauve tint in their hair, you know, to give their hair that kind of mauve effect. London Town, if you want anything to say on that, if you've got anything to say on that, you know, or as I said, if you're a hairdresser or a stylist, anything to do with hair in one of our many, many, many hair saloons and barbers shops in the community, give us a call, let us know what the craze is. That's the first thing. Secondly, now a few months ago, we talked about this thing, slavery. Not in depth, but we, you know, just touched on it. Modern day slavery. If I remember correct, a gentleman actually phoned and said, "Boy, I think you all should actually one day bring up this issue of modern day slavery, you know, and let people know that it still exists." Today, on a day when many people are going to be celebrating their freedom, the freedom to jump up, okay? Now, in Sudan, let me get this right. Yeah. Listen to this. I'm not even going to dissect it. Just listen to this. In comments that are bound to embarrass Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan, a former Sudanese government minister claimed last week that slavery is alive and well in his country. Santino Deng said Islamic militia groups from northern Sudan are raiding villages in the Christian south and making off with children who are then sold across North Africa and the Middle East. He accused Sudan's Islamic government of backing the slavers as part of their plans to destabilize southern rebel areas in the country's long-running war. Minister Farrakhan toured the country in 1996 as a guest of the government. On his return to the US, he sparked fierce controversy among African-American organizations, by saying he could see no evidence that slavery existed. Well, as I said, it was talked about, sorry, London Town, things falling all over the place in here. It was talked about, it was brought up slightly, we just touched on it, quite a few times actually. You know, this article, someone brought it to my attention. I missed it, it is a couple of weeks old. But slavery in Sudan, you know, the Islamic group, whatever their name is or whoever they are actually going into the southern part of the country and capturing particularly women and children and then taking them and selling them and making them slaves. Within a lot of the Arab world, if you go on, if you do your own research into it, in a lot of the Arab world is where these women and these children end up, and sometimes they go through the most atrocities at the hands of the slave owner or the slave, so-called slave master. Well, the article's been done saying that Minister Farrakhan must have known about it. He was in the country a year or so ago. So, you know, what's going on, London Town? Can anyone explain some more to us about that? Can anyone enlighten us about, first of all, the slavery that's still going on today? And I think you all might think, no, don't cover that topic. But you have to look at it from this point of view. We may be the ones that was born in South Sudan. It could have been myself, it could have been Sister Slushy, it could have been any one of us. You know, now if we was born over there in this time, there was a probability that we would end up slaves. Today. You know, think about it, London Town. If this isn't food for thought, tell me what is. And at the same time, it's yours talk show, so don't forget, if there's anything else that you want to put in, you can. But I don't want you to all to ignore this, right? It's a very grave situation where in 1997, we still have slavery. We still have our people being incarcerated against their own will, being taken away and being put through the indignation of slavery. Now, I'm not even going to go into much into it. You will tell me what you've got to say about that. Remember that number 0958 345 771. At the same time, has anyone got any information on this man, Angelo Howard? Spent 24 years behind bars, and they let him go at the age of 72. Black man. I'm just throwing that in. I'm not going to go too much into it, but if you all have any information, let us know. Now, please, more information for everybody out there. And again, I'd like you all to, for all of you who don't know, I'd like you to realize that this year, did you know, 1997 is supposed to be the year of anti-racism? You know, this is supposed to be the year where the government and all of the organizations, etc., the CRE, etc., come together and say, look, this is the year of anti-racism, let's kick out racism, let's get rid of it, all right? Well, this is a letter sent to us by one of the British, what would you call them? One of the British political parties. I think that's what we're calling them, all right? Because they are registered, legal political party. Hold on a sec, we're going to take this call. Good morning, this is Genesis.
Yes, Jalov.
Yeah, brethren. Can you turn that radio down a bit, brethren?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I just like to touch the part that talk about the slavery part.
Yes.
Well, nothing is nothing new still, because we don't know, so the Arab them first slave black people.
Uh-huh.
So, the matter Muslim you talk to, you know.
Yes.
So the Muslim people, no matter what they come out for, the same thing they must keep up from ancient time till now.
So it's not a surprise.
That is not nothing new to me.
Okay.
Because if you check by the history, it shows the Arab them first invaded Africa, you know.
Yes.
You know, you're aware of that still.
So, brethren, you mean to say it's not a surprise that today,
I'm not surprised when you hear you say it a while ago.
and this is 97.
And this is 97. Because right now the Muslims, them are fraud them, you know. You understand? Them now come out for nothing logical and nothing concrete. Call them deal with a pure war.
So then what does that mean to us now? You know, I mean, if because it sounds like what you're saying then is, okay, because we know these things happen, there's nothing that can be done.
Well, I want us to know themselves in this time, you know. I know the true and living God. And there is no other one than His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie. And all black people for wake up and stop talk bad things about the man and go check. But do some research about His Imperial Majesty. Because what the system create is to just cover everything and all blasphemous things about that man.
Yes.
And they push up them white Jesus and all of them that people face. And at times the black people get up and stand up for their rights, as Bob Marley said, we need to get up and stand up for their own rights. Because if we don't stand up for it, nobody not stand up for it for you, you know. You understand? And we should make the world know, say, the year 2000, they're going to the year 2000 without now get the respect and concrete respect as one equal rights and justice for everybody, and that every black people for the program. That's supposed to be every black man and woman and child. Resolution for the year 2000. The million of people listen right now.
Okay.
We're not going into the year 2000 if Jenna intervene by them time there. Without get respect like any other man on the surface of this earth. You understand? The 666 them give everybody who them in a problem with, you know. Because them try to feel up everything with them one another right now.
Yeah.
You understand? So what happened to we black people we've been through slavery till the day? You understand? What kind of apology we get? Look how much things them invade Ethiopia, Africa and take from there. And nobody, none of the heads of government, them not talk about it. But we don't know still enough, say, them not go and bow down to me, because we don't know so fully God, the original God is a black God, you know. See, and them no one really come down to that and know so them can really bow down to God. As a black man, you understand, a black Rasta man.
Yes.
You understand? One of the real famous God is the man who created this universe. He's a black Rasta man from ancient days. So I'm not telling London town people, man, and all who want to listen, man. We should just wake up as a black nation, because if you don't want to give you free, equal rights and justice, I just have to come give you it. And a revelation I reveal now. You understand? The whole prophecy of revelation I reveal. So I'm not telling black people, say, we just dig up on ourselves, because we are the original nation. And Rastafari come out and we not, enough people not to realize that he was the true Messiah. In the scripture, when the man come amongst we, you know, we not to accept him, you know. Not for we not know him, you know. You understand? And look when the man come and people chat all type of either thing about Selassie. People should wake up and stop listening to rumor and go do research. See, that has got me to tell people. And the little Muslim thing, all of them are camouflage. Respect for and for I cannot do still as a black man, see, even open my black man eyes in a certain way. But the Muslim thing not going to work, Bridget. Rastafari is the only way.
All right. Yes, Bridget. All the London Town heard that scene, all right? Thanks for the call. Boy, London Town, you heard it there. Time for us again. You know, it's been said time and time again, and it will continue to be said until we actually practice it. But the Bridget said it's time for us to, you know, just wake up, get together, and do what we're doing in the interest of our nation, in the interest of our people. He said the slavery thing with the Muslim, is Islamic Muslim. He said he's not surprised, because if you go and check history would recall to you exactly what these people's thoughts and intentions were towards us from the longest time. Anyway, if you've got any information on that, give me a call, 0958 345 771. Now, as I was saying, we had one of the political parties in this country has chosen to address the black nation by way of a personal letter. Listen to this. An open letter to black people from the BNP. We, the British people, would like to take this opportunity in congratulating all yardies, gunmen, alcohol abusers, and all drug users for the slaughter of millions of black niggers around the world since the early 1970s. We would also like to thank nature in aiding us in the elimination of your race. For if it were not for famine, starvation, and disease, we would have to revert to slavery once again, uneconomical. As you should know by now, this country is still ours, and it will remain ours. It will never be yours. Thank you for killing your future black leaders, doctors, lawyers, and business people. The most important thing you could ever do for us is to kill your youth. So we won't have to worry about you niggers in generations to come. We would further like to thank all the judges for over-sentencing you niggers in prison. We are deeply honored that you would take your precious time out to straighten your nigger hair and bleach your nigger skin to look like us. It is a well-known fact that white is right. That is why you abide by it. And if you niggers had enough money, like your child-abusing hero, Michael Jackson, we know that you wouldn't hesitate to get a nose job too. For you help in assisting us in the termination of your race. I'm reading it as is written. We have given you a hero to look up to. As long as you follow Bruno, the Negro's example, you will be doing the right thing. Thank you for trying to be white, but unfortunately, you were born a nigger and will die a nigger. And in between those two unfortunate events, you will remain a nigger. Since you only number 2% of this wonderful nation's population, we the British jungle fever for now, because this further helps to eliminate the Negro race. We like to play games with you niggers to keep you confused. By the way, we like your two main businesses, your Jamaican patty shops and your nigger hair saloons. We can tolerate you niggers a lot more with straight hair. Keep it up. If most of you niggers can't read, then get a get a rare nigger who can. Then go and get a gun, pull the trigger, and kill another nigger. Once again, we can't thank you enough for your support. Remember, niggers, we are watching you. P.S. Don't worry, we are sorting out the packies too. This is a letter from the BNP party addressed to the black population here in this country. Now,
boy, them people are jokers. Trust me. They don't know. They're trying to fool you lot, you lot better know that, because there's enough of you white people, black people, exactly what they said is what you're doing. You don't need to check yourself, trust me. And as for you guys, boy, you lot having a laugh.
Isn't it ironic how these people are watching us so closely? They said they love your two businesses, your Jamaican patty shop and your nigger ear saloon. And Sister Slushy's in there saying they love it when we kill our own. Look how many times we've spoken on black violence. Look how many times we've brought it to the attention of the community. Look how many times the community has responded to it. Well, now you've got someone else responding to it. The BNP, British National Party. Anyway, we're going to move on, because we seem to be very popular now around the nation, around the country as a nation. Not even around the country, around the globe. So, and the reason why I'll say that is because, lo and behold, listen to this. You want to read it? Listen to this. The following is the content of a letter placed on the bed of a young black person incarcerated in the Chicago City Jail. The KKK would like to take this time to salute and congratulate all gangbangers, all alcohol abusers, and all drug users for the slaughter of over 40,000 black people since '75. You are doing a marvelous job. keep killing each other for nothing. The streets are still not yours. They're ours. You are killing each other for our property. You are killing what could be future black doctors, lawyers, business people and leaders that we won't have to compete with. And the good thing about it is that you are killing the youth. So we won't have to worry about you niggers in generations to come. We would further like to thank all the judges who have over-sentenced you niggers to prison. We are winning again. Pretty soon we will be able to go back to raping your women because all the men will be gone. So you gangbangers, alcohol, drug abusers and drug users, keep up the good work. We love to read about drive-by shootings. We love to hear how many niggers get killed over the weekends. We can tolerate the niggers with jungle fever for now because that further breaks down the black race. To all gangbangers, alcohol drinking abusers and drug users across the world, we don't love you niggers, but we can appreciate you. You are doing a wonderful job in eliminating the black race. Without the men, your women cannot reproduce, unless, of course, we do it for them. Then we will have succeeded in fully eliminating a race. So thanks for your help and commitment to killing each other off. If most of you nigger gangbangers, alcohol abusers and drug users cannot read this letter, it's okay. Go and pull a trigger and kill others. Thank you. Good morning, you're in tune to Genesis.
Yes, Commissioner,
Good morning, Bridget.
Yes, boss. Well, the letter I just read out there from the BNP, National Front. Well, them have them points. Because look at the whole game the other day. Although black people are minority in our country.
Yes.
But black people was in the majority represent Britain in the games. There were no BNP there. Even from America, they were black, there were no KKK. So, you know, they're right. Because it's like you said that we stick up for ourselves, make our own games, put on our own show. Here we're going to represent the same people who's crucifying us. Yeah, alright.
Alright, Bridget.
We're killing ourselves because we're confused. Here we're green, we're blue, I think we're skin black. But we are green, yellow, pink, blue eyes and all them things. So these people say that we are confused.
We're confused.
Of course we are confused.
So come on then, how are we gonna get ourselves out of this confusion, brethren?
Well, we can get ourselves out of this confusion. The first thing we have to eliminate is bad mind.
Bad mind.
And yes, and jealousy.
Okay.
These are the things we have to get rid of.
How do we do that?
Well, how we get rid of it? Because we are a human being. God has created all of us with the ability to know the difference between good and evil. And if you see a person is trying, your brother or sister is trying, it's not to criticize them.
Yes.
It's just to help, give an helping hand, because you like the Father said, he help those that help themselves. So if your brother is trying, or your sister is trying, it's for you to give an helping hand. That's what we have to do, help each other, because the BNP are helping them one another, as you can see, as to set up as a party. Right, so we can set up not as a party, but as a nation of people. You see, like I said, how long are we going to say, even, all right, from the 50s, late 50s, early 60s, yes, we can say black people, even Indian, or call us minority.
Yes.
But look how many youth born now, look how many mothers and fathers today that born in this country, go to school in this country, sick and go to hospital in this country, and we're still in minority. So not until we get rid of those negative concepts, giving ourselves some funny alias names, then if you're following those alias names, giving yourself alias names, then you won't know what your real name is.
Yes.
You don't know where you come from because you follow, because look at this now. If you're going to Birmingham and you ask the road to Birmingham, they say, all right, if you pick up the M1, follow the M1 and follow the sign to Birmingham.
Yes.
Yes, along the way to Birmingham. You see many signs. You see with different directions. But you're only looking at the one you want.
Yeah. The Birmingham side.
You're only looking at Birmingham signs. There are many other places, but we ain't going at many other places. We're going Birmingham. So if we can find a road that takes us together in the same way, there are lots of signs, as Bob said. But don't complicate your mind. Just set your mind on the sign road leading you to the right path, where you want to go, your destination. We have a destiny as they have a destiny. And like I said, they too turn themselves and wanted to be black.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes. There's people all over, and maybe they want to be like he and she want to be like she. That's how it goes. But remember, we are a nation. We have to stand up. We have to as you said, like you plant a seed, yes?
Yeah.
And you water it and weed around the root and mulch it up, and you have to still wait until it blooms. Grow, then it bloom, then it send out young ones, then you have to still wait until they get fit before you can pick them. You know, see, so we all this time we listen to these people and trying to be like them. If only we could just listen to ourselves and be like ourselves.
Yeah.
England, a lot of people can curse England. Go curse England, but remember, if you curse the roof that is under without fixing it, it's going to fall on you. Because you're the one that's under it. You know, see, so a lot of black people call, yes, the white man still like them stay. The cats still like where the cats stay too. And the dogs still like where they, but they're what they are. We are what we are, they are what they are. They want to exist. We want to exist too. They're promoting their show. It's for us to promote our show. You couldn't expect the next promoter to come and promote your show. No. Each promoter promotes his own show. So we should promote our own show. But because we are so envious and jealous and, big-headed, stiff-necked and stubborn, that is why we are here. You see, slavery been going on a long time, and the God said, it's Arab who started. When I came to England in 1967, I was still reading books of slavery, going on at that time, with the Arabs going to Africa with containers and taking away. It was 700 pounds for the big man and 500 pounds for the woman.
Yes.
That was from 1960, that was real. The same Arabs. They were doing it, but like I said, black people go chasing something else instead of just looking at what's happening to us and come together. So I'm in this country to like everyone else who is here. Yes, I have bad times, but good times in it too. And if the white men was like us, you see, maybe we wouldn't be here in the first place anyway. And moreover, there were no treasure here. And all the people who go to school in this country, if they were studying the history of England, they would know that when Julius Caesar came here in BC 50 to 53, he wrote back to his brethren in Rome, Pompey, and said he don't see where it's necessary for him to send reinforcements. Because there ain't no treasures here. And moreover, he find the people so stupid, he could never have thinking of making them an household name of Rome.
That's right.
So if there's any treasure here, and there's any life here, it's come from someplace else.
Yes.
Because it never created here. But that is that. So we are here now. It's for the children that born here, them have a birthright. Fight for their birthright.
Fight for it here?
Those that born here, fight for the birthright.
Well, I was born here.
Yeah, you for fight for your birthright here.
What, in this country?
Yes. Because you have a right because of birth. Yeah, you can call your mom and dad immigrants. But it's also your children that born here as immigrants too.
Of course. Well, I believe that, yeah. I'm one of the people that believe it doesn't matter where you're born. You are what your parents are. It doesn't matter what country you're born in.
Yes.
You know what I mean, Bridget?
Black, yes, but you were born in England.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, Bridget.
You're an Indian.
Okay, so if I was born in an aeroplane, I'd be an aeroplane.
You're a pilot. Apache Jackson had the year.
Yeah.
But like I said, it doesn't matter. I tell you why I said that. When I first came here, yes, in Dayton, at all times I was talking about when I go back home, I'm going to do this.
Yes.
When I go back home, my big brother couldn't take it no more.
Yes.
One time he said to me, look, my brother, hear this. Yeah, when you go back home, you can do everything. But right now, you're in England.
Yeah.
Live your life in England where you are. That's where you are. You don't know if you're going to reach back home. You're in England now. So live your life in England. When you go back home, you live your life when you go home. I say, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. So That's how we have to look at it, man. If you can't clean out the house that you live in at present, how you going to clean out the one that you're dreaming about?
Well, maybe because the house where you're living in is not your house, number one, you know, and as we all know, charity begins at home and ends abroad. Now, there's many black people here in this country that was born here, like I was, but refuse to identify themselves as what they call black British or English born black. There's no such thing as an Englishman with a black skin, my brethren.
No, but it's not the words that are English, alright. No, you're a human being.
Yes.
And you have to live.
Yes.
And you have to make your living where you are.
You have to make your living where you are.
Yes. You have to survive where you are. Yes, I can dream of Africa, and I can dream of the West Indies. But when you wake up in the morning, you find yourself in England.
Yeah. That's the truth.
If you cannot make it in England, I tell you, one nation, you'll never make it nowhere else, because it is you. It's not your mother, it's not your father, it's not your sister, it's not your friend, it's you. It's come down to an individual. Like the Almighty Father God said, if He can put so much in us, said we should love our neighbor as we love ourselves. Not as we love our mother, our father, our sister, our brother, but as we serve. He put so much in us. That means Him say, yeah, why, you're not important, you know. Important to me. So we are important, man, as individuals. And don't watch, yeah, like I said, you are here. We all are here. I'm here too. I'm here for 30 years. Yeah, I go behind bars too. But that's how it goes. That's how we know all the while, yeah? And like I said, if a white man interfere with me too, I'll fight him. But really and truly, and I'll go fight every white thing in the country. I'll fight England. Because for number one, England, the Emperor Selassie get sanctuary here when it's the European that invade him, you know. Rome, you know, Mussolini, Italy, it's European. But he still come to a European country which is waiting for sanctuary. And we have to respect that still. We as a Rasta man have to. He come on to Muslim, Farrakhan and all of them. They are the heads of apartheid because they are splitting up the people. Look in America, look how many Farrakhan there. Look how many Muhammad in America. Little groups here, little groups here, little. Don't they know that divide not the people like that, you don't fall. That's why we are falling. Farrakhan, before he looked, he said, all right, you need $1 from a million, man. They need $1 million. Where you go work $1 million, man, to do what? It's like telling your brother, say, if your brother come to you hungry, homeless, naked, and you turn him around, turn him back and say, my brother, Allah be with you. Go in peace. Feed well. Keep warm. And you don't give nothing. It's just to tell him about faith. Faith without deed is dead, 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 dead. So it's like how we're talking and doing nothing. Dead. Because Father God not say, you get paid according to your speech. If you get paid according to your work. And if you don't, you cannot go out there on Friday to a factory gate and say, look, boss, no want no wages. And they don't know you. You never work there. So they're going to pay you. So the Indians came here after us. And look at them. They come with a aim in view, man. They know that they were colonized too. So them say, all right, when you come to gold, then we come and England come set up a little corner shop, yeah? And make back for gold in that way. I said, why can't we do the same thing? More than, no mind BMP and no man. We're glad to the idea for mine and say, yeah, niggas. And like you say, you can't change. It doesn't matter what color you want to be here. Same like them, it doesn't matter how many hours they spend in the sun. They will always be what they are. So we don't have to worry about BMP, Ku Klux Klan. And worry about ourselves. Same as how God worry about us. We worry about, we can say we feel love one another as we say.
Okay, Bridget.
Yes?
The whole of London town heard that.
Yeah, hold it up.
Big up for the call.
Hey.
Yeah, London town, I hope you all did hear that. There's a lot of information put over there. Some of it I agreed with, a lot of it I didn't. Again, you know, just touching, and I think, you know, we really need to do a talk show, or you'll give some views on this repatriation, leaving England, bearing in mind, you know, you got these people here that's telling us this will never be ours, it's their place, it belongs to them, and they'll never give it up to 2% of the population. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, Brother Commissioner.
Yes, yes.
This is Sister Veranda.
Yes, yes. What would you like to say?
I haven't got an awful lot to say. I more listen, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I listen to the content of that letter.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that letter frightens or disturbs you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you, does it frighten or disturb you?
No, not at all. Not in the least. I'm used to it. I know where I am and I know who these people are and what their about is.
Yeah. It doesn't frighten me and it doesn't disturb me because I know what to expect.
Yes.
And every day of my life, I walk and look behind me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure letters like that will frighten people who are
Not aware.
frighten black people who are not aware
Mm-hmm.
and who always think they're a part of the system.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I would like to ask you, where on earth belongs to black people? Where do you think we could go back and start to fight from? And I'm personally asking you that.
Personally, this is me personally. It's got to be the continent of Africa. It's the richest continent in the earth right now. Every other nation, every other country is going there and taking out all of the mineral resources, the food, the gold, everything, and they're building up their places. And one of the forefront runners in that is England. So to me personally, this is very personal, the continent. The continent is what we need to go and help develop, help build up. We have the skills here, a lot of the skills that are lacking over there.
All right, yeah, fair enough and respect to that. But we know deep within our hearts that will never happen, right?
Well, no, we don't. I don't.
All right. Some will never go back,
Yes.
right? And it's not possible that some is going to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, I agree with the brother who said, stand up and fight wherever you are, right? I believe life is here and now.
Mm-hmm.
When you listen to the white man speaking, when you watch them on the television about Africa, they will stand up and tell you they were there as well first, and it belongs to them as well.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the West Indies, they brought us there and they drop us there like liquid seeds, and we are still over our backs there, even so, right? You go there, they're still there running things from the outside, right? Wherever we go, they are there. So I don't see where the black man has to go and start to fight from. You got to fight from within.
Within what? Within what? Within someone
from
else?
From where you are right here in England. If we're going to start to get together, we got to do it on where we live, where we are, where our blood, our sweat, and our tears run, you know?
I hear that. I hear
There's nowhere to
that.
run to. We cannot keep on running, you know? As a people, we cannot.
Yeah, but keep on running. Where have we run to, sis? I mean, listen, as you said, right?
Saying, we cannot run back to Africa.
No, it's not running back to Africa. I think all black people must first acknowledge, you know, that we as a people, the reasons why we're here in these big numbers all over the world is because of this thing called slavery. You know, us modern time black people here now. Okay? Now, if we can't acknowledge, if we can't look at reality, look at history, look at the facts and say, you know what? We come from here. We was all shipped out of this country here. You know, if we can't acknowledge that, then you know, I don't see nowhere for us. We might as well just carry on living the way we're living. Because if you're not going to acknowledge where you come from first and what's been done to your home, to your homeland, you know, why do you want to fix up another man's homeland?
No, of course I do not want that. We know what have done to us in Africa and everything. But we all will never go back there, you know.
Because we're too comfortable here.
I don't think it's so much of comfort. Maybe some of us think we are comfortable. You know, when it comes, people talk about slavery and everything, right? Sometimes when I hear the word slavery or racism, if I burst out laughing or I make a dramatic entrance to the toilet, you know, because racism, for one, before even I was born, it shaped my life, right? Where I must live, where I must go to school, where I must work, if I should live, if I should die. I mean, to me, racism is such a brutal thing for the black race that you cannot just get up and speak about slavery and racism in one breath, because all our lives, whether we want to believe it or accept it, it's like a destiny for us as a people. But you see, we will all I mean, I'm not frightened about this letter because I understand it and I can accept it because that's it. That's the way they are, you know. But, you know, I just feel sorry for a lot of black people that this letter is going to frighten them because we talk about, take for instance, we talk about like the Indians came here last and they have shops that make it well and everything, but we are the same ones who support these people, you know. You walk on the market, you go to the shopping place and you see who is supporting these people is us. So at the end of the day, the same way we can stay in this country, England, and big up the Indians, the whites, whatever race, we could do it to ourselves just the same. And we don't do these things, and we're talking about going back to Africa when we could do it amongst ourselves here, just like we do it for the Indians and for everyone else who came after us, you know?
I hear that, yeah. I hear that, sis, you know. But
I'm not disrespecting Africa. There is no way one can disrespect in Africa. Africa is life in itself. It's the creation, the beginning of time. But all of us not going to be able to run. Because when you
you keep saying, sis, you keep saying being able to run, okay? Now, I think we better define that clearly. What I'm talking about is not running. I'm talking about going home. This is not our home. Now, I'm one that's born here.
Yes,
all right,
yes.
and I do not regard this place as my home. It could never be my home. Now, as you rightfully said, the West Indies, okay, which again, enough of us that's born here, because our parents come from there, we usually visit or we know a lot about it, you know?
Yeah.
That's not my home either.
Of course not.
That's a little island that they used to drop off slaves on, you know, so I know that's not my home.
Right.
And it doesn't matter, for me personally, you know, the black people will say, oh, you know, we've been in Jamaica for the last 100 years or in this place for the last 200 years. That doesn't matter. That's neither here nor there.
Yes.
You know, you've got to look at the origins of the roots of us. Now, once I've identified that to myself,
right,
I must want to go home.
Of course. I'm not disrespecting that, and I'm not saying brother, I'm sure we all would love to go home. But when we go home, we are going to be meeting these same people there.
Schools are black, the hospitals are black, the everything, the government, everything, you know. So obviously we will be able to strive a lot further, a lot quicker than, you know, it appears to me, because we've been in this country for how many years now? Very, very long time. As you said rightfully again, the Indians and them come after us. But we're supporting them.
And we support them fully, yes.
That's right. Well, I don't think that's because we're stupid. I think that's because certain doors have always been closed to us as a nation of people. You know, so even, it doesn't matter what year it is. I mean, this year people are saying, okay, let's you know, get together, do this, do that. More businesses have got to open, more this, more that. We're so smart. How comes then the percentage or the proportion of black businesses today in England, as these boys said in their letter, is patty shops and hair saloons?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what kind of shop. I don't feel it matter what kind of shop it is. People do what kind of business they want to do and what they're going to be progress or prosper from.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
These envious bad mind kind of people want to say. I mean, these kind of...
Yeah, but sis, no, not from the envious bad-minded point of view. From the point of view that we've been here the longest, right? And our most affluent businesses right now is hair saloons and patty shops.
Yes.
You know, now don't you think that is a very poor sign? Don't you think that's showing us something? It's
a terrible, terrible poor sign. But if one going to start from doing hairdressing or party, whatever it is, so be it. The next person who come along will do something else. Until we start, each one of us start and do something for the next generation to follow. You know, it doesn't matter what you start from as long as you start from something.
So tell me then, what was the last generation doing for us? This is a question. I don't know if you can answer.
The last generation.
Yeah. What was they doing for us now as the generation that came up behind them?
You know, let me tell you something, right? I sat here and I know that this carnival is going to be going on, right?
Yes.
And when I thought about this carnival seriously, I wouldn't go to the carnival, right? Because And I thought, you know, I will be watching that television, and the sick, the old, and the young, and whatever age will be out there, dancing to the, jiving to the death of their foreparents. Yet, the old, the sick, whatever age they are, you take a banner tomorrow and go and march for freedom for black people in this country, right? Schools for black children in this country, money for running even this radio station, and you see how much of the older generation is going to be there. They wouldn't be interested. They would say, you know, these boys are just there making trouble and stirring up racial argument and all these sort of things. So, you know, a lot of things I listen to, and I don't really try to speak on a lot of things because I'm not educated enough to hold a lot of topics on certain things, you know. But when it comes to the older generations, you know, what I would love to say, I wouldn't really say it on air because if you disrespect them, it's like disrespecting oneself. But you know, we're going to have to sit back and start to look at them in a different light, you know?
Yes.
Because quite personally, I'm just speaking for myself right now. I'm glad a lot of them is not my parents. And sometimes I feel sorry for the children who is coming from some of them as parents, you know? Because there's a lot of things better not said, yeah? So when you say what do they do, I mean, it's best for them to answer that question. I can't answer for them because the questions I would answer, it's like I might be young next week, so I better leave things be,
Okay,
you know?
okay. All right, sis. Well, all the London town heard your comments.
So, but that's my little gift, what I can give towards the program, yeah?
Okay.
Take care.
And you big up for that phone call. Keep it locked. Okay, London town, you're hearing it? Boy, black British, Sister Slushy, where was you born? All right, tell me something. What do you think of it? Sister Slushy was born here.
As far as I could remember, me growing up as a youth, I never thought this place was my home. And as much as they don't like me, I don't like them, so I don't care. I would like to go home. Trust me, I would like to go home. If I have to go there and struggle and strive, I prefer to do that in my black man's face than to have to live here every day and do it in their face. And they don't.
Good afternoon, Genesis Radio.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. It's Dawn from Hackney.
Yes, Sister D.
Very good show. Congratulations to all the people that have called in so far.
Okay.
I agree with some things and disagree with others, but I'm not going to get into that. What I wanted to know was where can you get copies of the two things that you read out, the two documents that you read out?
Well, what we'll have to do, because it actually has got an appraisal right at the bottom that says, when you read this or when you get it, can you copy off as many as possible and give it to your brothers and sisters?
Okay, and I was in and out whilst you were reading them. Were there two separate documents, one from the Ku Klux Klan and one from the BNP?
That's correct.
But they sounded the same.
Yep, parts of them, whole chunks of them were almost identical.
So doesn't this show you that these people are connecting globally?
Of course they are, sis.
But we're the only people that are going around saying, I'm not African, I'm West Indian, I'm Canadian, I'm American.
Yeah.
We're the only people that's doing it while these people are globally connecting and planning our downfall.
That's right. And
anyway, all I want to know is where I can get it.
Did you hear the other point as well, you know? Because what they was actually saying is that this country, the BNP one, is saying that this country is theirs and they're not about to give it up to 2% of the population.
But we've always known that.
Okay.
I mean, if you listen to Frances Cress-Welsing, she says that they have to kill us for them to survive.
Yes.
And this is how you have to understand racism, because they fear genetic annihilation. You know, we are a powerful race, despite knowing it. Just walking down the road and they fear us. And we have no power. They have all the power. So what is it that they know about us that we don't know about ourselves? Yeah? I mean, we have to look deeper into things than we're looking currently. We have to look below the surface. And I find that a lot of us just look at the surface and think it's okay. No, look at what is behind.
For real.
Okay?
All right, sis.
If you connect with me, and I'll see where we can get the copies of the documents you read out.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because you own a photocopy machine somewhere, don't you?
Are you asking me to do them for you?
Just, dropping a small hint.
Okay, well, listen. I've got my tape still to come.
I know.
So if you can get that stuff to me, yeah, I can go in early and do what I got to do without people knowing, yeah.
All right, then.
Okay?
Okay.
Call me.
Yes.
Take care of yourself.
Take care.
Good show.
Keep it
Bye-bye.
locked. Yes, London Town, Sister D in Hackney region saying, boy, black people, if we wake up.
Time, we wake up, black people. You hear the white man is telling us plain and straight, it is time to wake up. It ain't no rubbish. You lot get frightened. That's why you lot just only go to skin the surface. You go deeper than that. Don't get frightened. Look, because boy, you're gonna say, if only I knew. Don't be one of those that be left out in the cold, because trust me, the doors are gonna close tight.
Good afternoon, caller.
Hello. You just turned my radio down.
What's your name, please?
Omi Sade.
Sorry?
Omi Sade.
Okay, sis. Omni Shade.
Yeah.
What would you like to say?
I was Tanya 5 years ago, and so I've been below the surface, and I come up.
Sorry, you said you what 5 years ago?
Pardon? I changed my name 5 years ago.
Okay.
So I've been below the surface and come up.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of the callers, and I agree with most of what everybody's saying. There's bits in all of it for us, especially regarding our history, and also the forgiving of our parents and our foreparents as well. I'd like to talk about hair, because about 3 years ago I cut my hair low.
Yes.
And the kind of... I got asked if I was a lesbian.
Yeah.
People have always questioned who I am because I've cut my hair, but now it seems to be a fashion,
yes,
which I'm down with, really. But the thing, I think what's most upset me is the fact that our hairdressers do stay open the latest. You go anywhere, any part of the town, and our hairdressers are open. Why I think my first reason for stopping doing my hair was I was wasting so much time. I worked 9 to 5, 5 days a week, and then on a Saturday I'd go to the hairdressers, and I'm having to spend up to 5 to 7 hours there.
In the hairdressers.
And there's no reason discussion going on. I don't see it as a learning environment. I don't know. There's something wrong there. With the fact that men are doing their hair, it doesn't really affect me. It's just what... I don't have a problem with people doing their hair. It's just what is behind it all. Because I don't see anybody learning anything. And I think it's all about our memories as well. I think the reason why colours are coming up for men now, because what I learnt when I cut my hair is in the Maasai tribe, the women have their hair short and the men have it long.
Yes.
These are things that I had to recall to myself, so I felt comfortable about my own short hair. Then the inspiration I've received from my daughter, who's so proud of me because I have chosen to do that, the embarrassment she felt at first.
Yes.
So it's...
Even what, your daughter felt embarrassed as well?
Well, at first, yeah, because it's something strange, and she's got her friends at school, so it's what society deems as okay and what society deems as not okay.
Not okay.
If you look around all the magazines, or any black magazine you look at, it's Pierre Weave-On and Perm.
Yep.
There's nothing that makes me feel proud to be an African. Even the African women from the continent themselves are so distorted that you don't know what you are supposed to look like.
I hear that, sis.
You know,
but I know, I believe, that in certain parts of Africa, it was traditional as well for women to use braids in their hair and to do their hair in elaborate styles.
Of course it is. It's part of our history. It's part of our culture. And I think the thing that's wrong with us today is because those simple little elements of ourself, we've lost them. We're perming children's hair now. You know, I think what I've picked up this morning as well about people saying that we have to fight from within, and the fact that England is not my home and our home or whatever. I've always seen that. But at the same time, like, I was brought up in Wales, so I came from another part. I haven't experienced England like some people have experienced it. I've experienced the environmental issues like the sea and the beaches and so on and so forth. So I've got a different perspective on living in an urban
England
town.
Okay, well, you see, you've got that perspective there. Tell some of our listeners out there, what's the conditions or what's the arguments now surrounding like the seaports, etc., around England? Because we've heard that the sea, like the Channel and all of the beaches and that, are very nasty. Can you enlighten us?
Well, that's true. I mean, that's true, but I can't necessarily comment on such a global issue. I can only give what I see in my life. I've just come back from a week down in Wales, and I sent my daughter down there for 3 weeks just because I've got friends down there. So just to get away from, because what we are is in a concrete jungle, as Bob Marley said. And because we live in an urban environment, we get so detached, and that's why we can't place ourselves. Because as women, I would like to hazard a guess, how many women have a pot of herbs growing in by their kitchen sink or in their back garden? You know, it's the little things that keep the peace within ourselves that help us to fight. We can't fight right now because what we're fighting on is rubbish. I think the reason why I went as deep as to change my name and get involved in an African culture, which was the Yoruba culture, was because as a person coming from a fostered background and being in, because I grew up in Brixton as well, from the age of 9. I went to secondary school here. But what I found when I became an adult, or began evolving into an adult, is that what was my culture?
Yes.
All this dance hall, we've got a dance hall culture.
Yeah.
Whatever the DJs are saying is our culture. That's what it is to me, because okay, rice and peas and chicken has remained with us on a Sunday, and people are going and buying it throughout the week. But what other food did we eat?
Yes. Yeah.
What other food did we eat? What other things did we do? What was the hairstyles for? I am tired, and it really the reason why I move away from London and take short breaks out is just because I can't take what my reflection looks like.
Yeah.
Because when I'm walking down the street and I see my reflection, it saddens me. And therefore, then it weakens me.
Okay.
And I can't do the job that I'm meant to be doing. When we talk about community goings on, I don't see nothing but dances going on. And yes, I have been around the community grassroots meetings. I started with Community Action for Black Children's Future in 1990, just from a conference I went to at Dick Shepherd School. And every time I became a person, like on the steering committee, I was a chairperson for a while, I would have I would invite 25 friends, and out of those 25 friends, nil would turn up. I would spread the word. I would do this. And what I found is that because we haven't got the loving ethics of mother and father role from our community and our cultural content, because boys should be going through rites of passage, girls should be going through rites of passage, even if you can't do it, but if you don't know what the content is, how can you put it into your life? You know.
Okay, so then what then? We need some more education about
we need
that
educating
part.
about our culture. Right now, Africa, I've got a friend who's written a beautiful poem about, and there's a line in it where it says, we're putting down the yam in place of the King Edward, when we're picking up the King Edward potatoes.
Yes.
You know, so if we don't know what our culture is, we can't go nowhere. And I love the Rastaman because it was through the Rastaman I realized that there's a divine me inside of ourselves. But at the same time, they need to come out and clean up themselves as well. I have to say that because in all of their organizing, I don't see nothing that has affected me or touched me. The churches also, in all of their congregations, if 50 people... If they've got 500 people in a church congregation and everybody put 50p a month in, they could have an open house on the road. That's a mortgage. I don't see no practical things being done. And that's what I want to see, the practical things. But unless we can actually claim back our hands and let our memories open up to what is us, Because the thing is, when I started moving and with Yoruba priestesses and priests and going into that community, I found that I knew most of the things, but it's all locked in our memory.
For real.
You know?
It's just to unlock the memory.
To unlock it, and there are you see, the thing is, if we go back to our culture, the tools, the traditions, everything is there for us to pick up. Everything is there for us to pick up. I listened to the radio, Genesis, most of last weekend, and I was really inspired. What I find is that it's a dancehall culture. We're living in a dancehall culture because people can only relate to us one another on a dancehall vibe in everyday world. You know, when I go to work, it's what did you do at the weekend?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you start going deep with people and they get spooked and they run off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or because when I was going through my personal transformations, the world of people believed that I was going off my head.
Yeah.
You know, but now there's a different respect because you have to go to those dark places and come back. And it's whether people are prepared to go to those dark places. That letter you read today, I heard about 4 or 5 years ago. So where has everybody else been?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
You know, it's getting to the grassroots of people are the ones who, because I mean, we are all different people now. We've got our intellectuals, we've got our this, we've got our that, we've got our this. You know, so there are all different groups of people. I don't know how that is actually going to be mended or healed, and for the divisions for us to unify, because we do need to unify. But it's how we actually make that step. And I see that mainly as a woman's role. People might disrespect me for what I'm saying, but I'm going back to what was before, because it's from our history that we know these things. It was when men took the leadership role in terms of the family, things started breaking down, or women are not stepping into their role because they haven't got the tools to do it. They don't know about sea salt, they don't know about blue, they don't know about herbs. The simple things that keep us going, the tools of maintenance. So we can actually stay in our freedom once we have it, because this world is so hard, the environment is so harsh that it's difficult. I'm not saying it's not difficult, because it is, but then it's how we actually can support ourselves
and each other.
So we can come from within, and within us is a wealth of knowledge that it's just lying dormant. It's sitting down in a hairdresser's and seeing your hair transform into something that you are not. You know, and I also want to beg a question or ask a question. I mean, what does it also do to our sex lives? You know, a woman who's had their hair just done, because I used to have rollers in my head.
Yes.
Right, and I never wanted my rollers to spoil. So I don't want to do no things, or I don't want to come with no relationship or anything like that. What is it actually doing to the harmonizing between the man and the woman? All these hairstyles that are stuck to your head, have to wrap it up tight so you can sleep good. You know, those are little things that I've questioned myself about. You know, because I see the man on the road and he don't know how to talk to me, or he don't have the sensitivity to know where to touch me or to speak to me.
Yes.
You know, so therefore I can't hear him, because I don't want to hear him, because when I hear it, it hurts me.
It hurts.
So it goes down to our everyday communication. When you read that letter, because I've known about it, it still brings fire inside of myself.
Yes.
But I'm cool, because I know that I'm doing my piece.
Yes.
To forward my child and my child's friends and the relationships, whatever relationships I touch, I know I must bring love and peace. But for those who are not in a position to actually feel secure in themselves, they are then going to fire that anger onto somebody else, and that somebody else is probably going to be a brother or a sister, a child or a friend, because we have emotions that are still hurt, that are not healed.
Yes.
So when you hear that information, it's attaching itself to that already bad feelings that we've got from somewhere else, from dysfunctional schooling, from conditioning, from something else. And that's why we cannot communicate. We can't even talk to one another without, without
Just getting emotionally upset.
Yeah, and nobody's necessarily understanding what the other person is saying to them, and you can't hear what I'm saying because of what you've got, and I can't hear what you're saying because of what you've got already. So, I mean, everything needs to be broken down, and we have to come again. And the thing is to get in tune with nature and find out what your culture actually is, because everything... It's like the guy, fellow Kuti, that died on the 2nd of August. I went to a tribute to him at a restaurant, a Nigerian restaurant on Kolaba Lane.
Okay.
You can't keep still when you hear the music. The music clears your soul out. It clears. There's all kinds of instruments. It clears you. When I go to, I've stopped going out now, but when I did used to go out and I used to hear our DJs chatting on the radio, on the record, I'm thinking, well, why is this man firing all this aggression at me? Why is he? Do we actually understand the vibrations that we're picking up in this world?
I think a lot of it is just a reaction of the vibrations that a lot of us are getting.
Yeah.
You know?
So then doesn't it then want you to go and find out, you know, what's missing in my life, why I can't experience joy and happiness? Well,
I know what's missing in my life, you know, and it's my home.
Yeah.
I mean, I can make myself
home,
I can make myself happy here to a degree, you know. But one thing that you said that even kind of brings it to more of a realization. You never said it in the same way, but like what you actually said was something like, and these are not your words, but just from, you know, listening to you, it brought this to my mind. Anyone that was born in the West Indies and grew up over there, it was commonplace for them to know, you know, if they had a stomach ache, your mother would tell you, go out in the back and pick this bush, you drink that and the stomach ache's gone. You know, so we had all of that when we was in our natural environment.
But it's still around. I mean, there are alternatives. It's still around, but it's just how we adapt it in this modern world.
Okay.
Because we do live in a modern world, and it's about how we adapt. I mean, when you go to the West Indies, it's abundantly green.
That's right.
It's abundantly green. The earth is so rich that you pick something, you eat it, and you plant back the seed. It's abundant. Where is our abundance here? You go along, some people have got gardens and don't know what. You know, it's earth, it's land. I mean, we have to start somewhere. We do have to start somewhere. And
but at the same time, isn't there another point to that? I mean, even being here, straight away, you know, you changed in terms of the kind of food, like you said, putting down the yam for the potato. You know, how many people can grow yam here? How many people can grow the herbs here that they know?
It's also, it's about the business, isn't it? The collective economics.
Yes.
It's like I had the opportunity of going down to Brighton, and I don't know if people have heard of the face-to-face workshop by Jackie Holder, which is an empowerment course for black women.
Okay.
I had the opportunity of supporting on that course down in Brighton. Now, there is not a lot of black people in Brighton, but the gusto and the collectiveness of the few that are there, it makes you so despondent when you come back to London and you see, well, people are still living the same.
Hold on, did you say the collectiveness? Did you say the collectiveness of them down there?
Yeah.
What, they stick together?
Well, yeah, and they look after one another because, like, okay, they can't get the food down there. So every 2 weeks, somebody comes up, buys a load, and goes back down.
And everyone gets food.
And everybody gets food.
Okay.
You know, we've lost elements of simplicity. You know, it's the simplicity that life really is. It's like the Rasta guy, man before, was saying about watering the roots. I mean, the simpleness of life. Just the simpleness of life. We're missing out. Okay, if the women are dealing with the simplicity, then the man has got the time to go and deal with the politics and the economics. And I think, and our children need to see our men stronger. You know, definitely our children need to see our men stronger.
And how do you think that's going to come about, sis? Again, you know, because you know what the men of the nation are going through right now.
Sorry?
You know what the men of the nation are going through right now?
Yeah, I do. and I feel it for them, and I'm here to support them in every which way I can. I mean, I'm a person who will go down by the sea and give out prayers for our nation. If more people were to kind of consciously, not subconsciously, because those thoughts are too deep down, to come up to the conscious, to bring it to the surface, to go out in the open air and say prayers for ourselves. I think the only reason why we're still surviving now is because of all those mothers and fathers that used to say the prayers in the churches. They were powerless, but when they go to church, they're praying for something.
Okay.
You know, and those prayers have to manifest. It has to manifest. I think what stunned me this morning was what that somebody said about you can't curse the roof you're living under.
Yes.
Which I have to take on board now, because I never thought of it like that.
Yes.
Because there will be people left here. So while we already know that it's crumbling, and it will crumble ever more, we still have to give up prayers for those who are going to be here. So if people were actually going out consciously, because once you make up your mind, everything comes on your path to give you. God provides. He provides. Once the time I made up my mind to say that, well, I want to know what my culture is, everything was provided. Everything was provided. I haven't had to go out far searching. It comes to you. It's whether you've got the eyes to see it.
Yes. So tell me now that you've taken that step, as you said, all right? You've changed your name, and you found out, you've done research into your culture and what it is. Is there any stage that you felt that you had to actually, you said, was it your name come from the Yoruba people?
Yeah.
Is there any stage, you know, in the actual experience that you felt you had to visit these people in their own environment?
Oh, I've got to do that. There's no question about that. I have to go down to the cradle where I came from. There's no question about that. There's absolutely no question. And I think what we don't realize is that the ancestors are calling right now.
Of course they are.
They are calling, and that's why if you have any problems, you must look at what your problems are. You must look. Don't be resistant, because it's like we know that the year 2000. I mean, people like to go on like things ain't significant. You know, that these like little things that are happening ain't important.
Yes.
They are so significant. They are our signs that, as the man said beforehand. You know, the fact that that letter has actually got to the radio stage of being read out now, because it couldn't be read out before on the radio. You know, things are significant to us. You know, the fact that you see, like when you go down to these seaside towns, the white people are. I'm not cussing them. I'm not causing any disrespect on certain people, because there are certain people that I grew up with that are fine as who they are. Do you understand me? As who they are. But when you see who they are, they're not like the people in London.
No.
They are. How can I describe? They're gossips. That's all they do.
They gossip.
Gossips. They gossip, and they know every little fact that there is to exist.
Yes.
You know
so
what
it's
I mean?
like
That
a village mentality.
Yeah, they're like the people on Coronation Street and family. So they ain't they're just products of what the government has made.
So they're just existing.
Yeah, because I don't see them having a spirit. I don't see them even knowing of a spirit. I'm not. That's a bit general, but that's my experience.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for sharing your experience of Wales and the coast and that with us, and of the cultural.
Find out what their culture is, and don't be resistant to change.
Yes.
Because change is good. Death is a beautiful thing. Birth happens every day, and we've got to think that as we're growing, death must come to us. It must come.
Comes to everyone.
It comes. But I'm not even talking about. I'm talking about living death.
Yeah.
I'm talking about moving from one phase into another phase, from 21 to 25 to 30. Find your guidance. People need to find their guidance. They need to find our people that are here already placed, that have already been through certain experiences, so we can come through together, because it's just not happening. And living out of books ain't going to happen either.
That's right.
Because once you have the knowledge, you have to act upon it.
On the knowledge that you have.
You have to act upon it, and you have to be open to receive. it's like I took my my little godson, but because he mixes with an older boy, and because he thinks the older boy is a fighter.
Yes.
And this is what I find with boys anyway, because he's a fighter, he has to know everything. So he's actually going to miss a whole heap of things because he believes he already knows.
Yes. Yeah. He's got it all down sussed already.
That's right. And that's all of us, really. And including, you know, those people in prominent positions within our collective consciousness fighting. Because they also need to kind of look about healing themselves as well, so the healing can actually spread and movement can happen.
For real. Okay, sis, boy, that was a whole heap of encouragement there for London Town. You know, and thanks for the very positive talk.
Yeah, well, thanks for allowing me to speak, because often it's also a challenge to actually question and say, I don't like this about myself. Because that's what it is. I don't like myself out on the street because I look a certain way, and I know that I'm an African, and I look like an African. I look like an earth woman, and there's been, I've had to go through like my own personal fears, and also people's judgments placed upon me because of the way I look.
Okay, and yeah, you know, because you started off with you said that you shaved you cut your hair off.
Yeah.
All right, cut it low.
Yeah.
When you said now you was, like, people approached you and said that you were lesbian, was this your own people?
Of course it was.
So because
of course it was.
What you're saying now,
what kind of nativeness I get into, like, so I couldn't deny that nature was myself, because, you know, I can't believe that people, what's backward about cutting your hair? People made me feel like I was backward.
Again, though, you know, what it's showing there is highlighting how people are so disassociated, again, with their own culture.
Yeah.
Because if they knew their culture, women of old, our women in particular, as you said, there's large regions of the continent where they had to have their hair short. They all wore it short.
That's right.
You know, but again, you've got someone over
and
here.
You know what? I don't have no time for weirds, because I wash and I go.
Yes.
And do my work, what I need to do. You know what I mean?
Okay, sis. You got for your call, right?
All right, thank you.
Enough respect and keep
all
it
right,
locked.
Then. I'm sending out peace and love to everyone, and some joy and happiness.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
See you. Yeah, London Town. Boy, did you hear that reasoning there? You know, I'd love to hear strong, positive reasoning coming from the community, from the wider family. Remember that number, 0958345771. We've also been joined by Daddy Cooley in the studio. Let's hear from him, the one himself.
Yeah. Good afternoon, London Town. Inside the place, got a big shout going out to the Commissioner, holding up the fort. Inside, we'll take this call and see what's going on. Good afternoon, you tuned to Genesis.
Yeah, I just woke up still, right? And I see you're talking about something you read out this morning. Any chance that you could read it out again so we can sort of understand what's going on?
Okay, Commissioner. I'd have to say you'd have to be like me, Bridget, and try and wake up a bit earlier.
Yeah, sure.
You know, this program starts at 11 o'clock. So we'll read one of the letters because both of them are basically the same, you know what I mean? So Commissioner will go through that one letter again.
All right, respect.
Big up for your call, Bridget. Okay, for everyone that woke up and, you know, all you that was out raving last night, I hope everything went safe and Chris and ting. Anyway, an open letter to black people from the BNP. We the British people would like to take this opportunity in congratulating all yardies, gunmen, alcohol abusers and all drug users for the slaughter of millions of black niggers around the world since the early 1970s. We would also like to thank nature in aiding us in the eliminating of your race. If it were not for famine, starvation and disease, we should have to revert to slavery once again, which is uneconomical. As you should know by now, this country is still ours and it will remain ours. It will never be yours. Thank you for killing your future black leaders, doctors, lawyers and business people. The most important thing you could ever do for us is to kill your youth. So we won't have to worry about your niggers in generations to come. We would further like to thank all the judges for over-sentencing you niggers in prisons. We are deeply honored that you would take your precious time out to straighten your nigger hair and bleach your nigger skin to look like us. It is a well-known fact that white is right. That is why you abide by it. And if you niggers had enough money like your child-abusing hero, Michael Jackson, we know that you wouldn't hesitate to get a nose job. For you helping assisting us in the termination of your race. We have given you a hero to look up to. As long as you follow Bruno the Negro's example, you will be doing the right thing. Thank you for trying to be white, but unfortunately you were born a nigger and will die a nigger. And in between those two unfortunate events, you will remain a nigger. Since you're only number 2% of this wonderful nation's population, we the British people do not mind you lot having jungle fever for now, because this further helps to eliminate the Negro race. We like to play games with you niggers to keep you confused. By the way, we like your two main businesses, your Jamaican patty shops and your nigger hair saloons. We can tolerate you niggers a lot more with straight hair. Keep it up. If most of you niggers can't read, then get a real nigger who can. Then go and get a gun, pull the trigger and kill another nigger. Once again, we can't thank you enough for your support. Remember, niggers, we are watching you. P.S. Don't worry, we are sorting out the packies too. That is the letter that was sent by the one of the political parties of England to the wider black community. If you heard the sister there she said, boy, she saw this or she heard this information some 5 years ago. So what have black people been doing? Where have they been? You know, that it's finally come to the radio. I don't know if anyone has ever put it out before. But obviously it's been out there a while, you know. So this is just one of the things that we have to contend with here in this country. But again, I'm going to reiterate what the last caller said. It's about self-awareness. It's about knowing your culture, defining your culture, defining where you come from, defining the foods that you will eat as a people, defining even the hairstyles that you will use as a people. You know, why? What for? You know, all of these have an effect or are part of the makeup of our culture. Good afternoon, caller. Can you turn that radio down, please?
Yeah, I'll just turn it down, Guff. That's it, how's that?
Okay.
Hello there, I'm on the radio.
Can you turn that radio down a bit more, please?
It's gone, right? It's actually, I'm not into airport, it's actually an airplane going by. That's
okay.
Better. How's that? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, am I on the radio or am I talking to somebody else?
You're on the radio live. What's your name, please?
Oh, my name's Cliff, and I'm a London cabbie, actually. And I actually just discovered your radio station whilst driving along.
Okay. What would you
very
like to tell?
Very good listening. Well, I'd just say, very good listening. I agree with some of the points, don't agree with some of the points, of course.
Yes.
I'd just like to say about the National Front letter. Listen, you can't really take that seriously. I know that some people are going to take it seriously, but I don't think you can. I think you've got to take it for what it actually is, and it's a load of rubbish.
Yeah.
Most white people, I mean, the majority of white people, or more than the majority, 99% of the population would think that deserves what it actually deserves, and that's tearing up or setting fire to.
Find it in a bin, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So then tell me then, so you're a cab driver, London...
I'm a London cabbie, go on.
All right, so I'm presuming that you're white by your accent.
I'm a white London cabbie, a Londoner born and bred, proud of it. I'm an Englishman. I'm sitting actually surrounded by 3 black guys, 2 cabs in front.
Really?
And, yeah, 2 in front of me, 1 to the left. But they're not sitting in the same cab as me, but I do know them, we're all pals, whatever.
Okay.
But go on, I mean, as a London cabbie, we get slagged off a lot, I know we do.
Yes.
Go on, you want to ask me a question? Go on, ask me a question as a London cabbie, go on, and I'll fire some stuff into you afterwards, go on.
Okay, well, the first thing I'd like to say is, why do these London cabbies, right?
Go on.
When black men in particular, are uptown and they're trying to get a cab back to the side of the river, why do the cabbies drive past us? Why don't they pick us up?
What side of the river?
Sorry? We're trying to get back to the south side of the river.
The south side of the river, yeah, sweet. Well, I mean, 99% of cab drivers don't want to go South London anyway.
Why?
I'll tell you why. First and foremost, most of the majority of cab drivers haven't got the knowledge of South London.
Okay.
Because they did their London knowledge before it was imperative that you did lots of South London. So any part of South London they're not very familiar with. Now, I wouldn't say that is Brixton, and I wouldn't say that is Streatham, and I wouldn't say that is Peckham.
No.
But they don't go there enough to maintain a very good knowledge, so they don't want to go.
Okay.
Right, so going off that, also, the colour of the skin. There must be taken into consideration that some of them don't want to go there because they're black people.
Yeah.
That comes down to the fact that when you get people that... You've got to blame some of your own people as well for doing it. I mean, you talk about violence amongst yourselves. You're playing into the hands of certain people. You mentioned it yourself. You've you've slagged off your own people for doing it to yourselves.
Yes.
Now, I don't consider that they're your people or they're my people. I just consider yourself as your people.
Yeah.
I don't stop for people because they're a colour of skin. As far as I'm concerned, a job's a job.
Yeah.
One job leads to another job. Hand comes up, I'll stop. I don't give you black, white, green, blue, pink, or whatever.
Yeah, but at the same time,
This is me personally. Now, I'm just saying that, but the reason they don't want to pick you up is things like, I'll give you a perfect example.
Okay.
Guy comes up to a friend of mine at London Bridge Station on the rank, says, will you take me to Peckham, mate? He says, don't really want to go there. He says, look, I'll give you the money up front. Gives him a £20 note.
Yeah.
He went, okay, I've got the money up front. Gets into Peckham, pulls a knife on him, takes the £20 note and all the money he took that night. It only happens once in a blue moon, but what happens is it goes around the cab trade like wildfire.
Yeah.
Now, let's give you an example. I'm driving down the Old Kent Road one night, get to the Elephant, I come up towards Westminster Bridge, and there's two coloured guys. I pull over. He says, would you take me to, it was the back end Wick Lane somewhere up by Hackney.
Yes.
I went, yeah, sweet. They've been standing there for nearly an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas time, freezing cold. I was about to swear then, sorry, freezing cold.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a blinding job, and it was a blinding ride, and they give me a good tip and everything, and and they slag off the London cabbies, and they all do. But you got to appreciate, a lot of these old guys, I work nights, a lot of these old guys that are out there, they're old men, they can't put up a fight, they're easy peasy for someone who really wants to take a liberty. It nearly happened to me one night, two coloured guys.
Yeah,
I'm a big guy, I think they fancied they might have been half a bit of trouble, so they go for a weaker target. Now, I don't say that's just black guys, there's white guys as well, there's white villains as well, the white scum, because they are scum, as far as I'm concerned. Anyone who robs anybody else for going out and trying to get a day's living, scum. I don't care if he's black, white, green or blue.
For real.
Now, you can slag off cabs all you like, and it's going to happen, it's a part and parcel, there's always going to be racism.
Yes.
You preach racism yourself. What you listen to your conversation today, from listening to it, I was shocked out. I found this radio station, I was just tuning through, and there it was, and I'm listening to it, and I found it quite interesting, but I feel that by preaching what you're saying about going back to your roots, and you want this, and you want your culture, and you want this is what me personally, as an Englishman, and what a lot of people I know, white people, are afraid of. And a lot of them are afraid to stand up and say it, but I'm not, because I'll say what's on.
Okay, hold on. When you say afraid of in what way? What do you mean?
We're afraid because you want to change our history. You want to change our way of life. You want to bring your culture into our culture, which will, if you admit it or you don't want to admit it, it will change our culture.
Okay, well, you answer me something now, all right, please?
Go for it.
Don't you think that our culture is changed your culture enough already? Don't you think, you will, as you heard someone call and say, let's look at the next Olympics and see how many black people are representing England. Let's look at the national football team and see how many black people are there now. Let's look at, this thing about the culture change, don't you think it's a bit too late? Don't you think it's happening? Even to today, you got Carnival. I mean, you're going to see people to and fro. I would put my bottom dollar on it that there's going to be a lot more white people at Carnival than there will be black people.
A lot more white people than black people.
Yeah, at this year's Carnival.
Oh, I don't know. I was there last year. I mean, I'm a cab driver, so I work that day because it's busy, and I have to say, I can't necessarily agree with you. I'll say there's a lot more black than there are white. But you're painting pictures, you're painting numbers of blacks, whites, whatever.
Yeah.
To me personally, you're making numbers of people. We're not talking about it. We're talking about the white people in this country are afraid.
Yes.
And let's be honest, they are afraid. Your white people are afraid.
Yeah, but afraid of what?
They're afraid because what you are doing is changing our culture. Give you an example. Down the Old Kent Road, there was a pub on the left-hand side, on the road, on the turning of is it not Cooper's Road, Road Cross Street, I think it's turning, it's kind of called. And it's opened up as a Muslim community centre, and now you've got, and I have to say Africans because they look like Africans. I've had a lot to do with different nationalities, and I would say they look like Africans.
Yeah.
They turn it into a south-east London Muslim community. Now it's like a souk on the pavement, certain days of the week, outside of all the stalls and all the bits and pieces. That's what I mean. And this is I was born and bred in the Old Kent Road. The Old Kent Road's changed dramatically over the last couple of years. Yeah. And I just feel as though it's not becoming my home anymore.
You're saying
I'm losing my identity. Can't you understand? You're afraid of losing your identity. I'm afraid that people have come in on me, be it Bosnians, Somalians, Muslims, be it Africans, Jamaicans, Koreans, Chinese, no matter what it is. All these ethnics are coming into what I classify as my country, same as it's your country. I know you don't think it's so, but same as your country, and they're changing it. You might think it's changing it to the best because that's what you want, but me, I
don't
don't
want
feel
that?
that way. No,
Okay.
I don't want that. Yeah, I suppose I don't want that.
Okay.
Now, am I wrong to think like that? You tell me I'm
No,
wrong,
you're not.
please.
No, you're not. But I just want to answer something, or put something to you, because you're not wrong to think like that. I agree with you. In fact, it's your country, and you're supposed to be able to have your country how you want. Okay, so I agree with you. But
No, not how I want. How the majority wants. We are a democratic country. If the majority of people say one thing, I must go along with that because I believe in a democracy.
Okay. Well, all right. I'll go along with that for the moment. But what I wanted to say to you, well, do you realise why these Sikhs and all of these other, as you call them, ethnics are coming into this country? Do you realise why?
Yeah.
Why?
It's a fantastic country.
Because
I've lived abroad. I lived in Spain for 2 years. I've lived in Germany. I've lived in Holland. I've been to Abu Dhabi and LA and Bahrain and Sharjah and Dubai and Ras Al Khaimah. And I've been to America and I've been to loads of places throughout the world.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you now.